Celebrity Onset is a one-hour show featuring a diverse mixture of celebrity interviews, audience participation, and contests. Celebrity Onset will extend outside the studio to cover red carpet events, concerts, festivals, fundraisers, or any other event where your favorite celebrity may be. Talk to your favorite celebrities on air and stay connected to the stars with Celebrity Onset.
Quiet on the set. Let's get a sound check.
Check. 1, 2, 3. Testing.
Positions, everyone. Roll tape. Roll camera. Camera's rolling. In 3, 2.
Live in Las Vegas, it's Celebrity Onset with your hosts, Devon and Tony Rowley.
Good morning and welcome to Celebrity Onset. I'll be your host, Devon and I'm joined by Tony Rowley. If you'd like to join us on CelebrityOnset.com, you can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Today we are joined on the set by Peter Pavone.
Hi, how are you? Good to be here.
He is a dancer, actor, singer, impersonator. Anything you can think of, he does it.
I have a professional personality disorder.
Well,
I'm like the symbol of Las Vegas.
He doesn't know whether it's Abraham Lincoln or Frank Sinatra.
That's the beauty of it. I can be anybody I want to be.
It's good to have you back on the show.
Glad to be here, man. Beautiful.
And you've also done Joey Bishop, Johnny Cash. Is there anybody that you haven't done?
Well, I'm working on 2 new ones. I'm working on Kid Rock and the most interesting man in the world, Dos Equis guy. Stay thirsty, my friends. Because when I get the white beard and the white and gray hair, the blue contacts, I look just like him.
So what does your closet look like? Do you just have how much money do you spend on different things?
Would you like a tour? Well, it's mostly wardrobe.
Is it like Paris Hilton, a closet full of shoes?
No. No. Mostly tuxedos and
And different beards,
Yeah.
fake beards.
Yeah, I do have fake beards and mustaches and sideburns and it's weird hats. Because Lincoln, you got to have the high hat. Sinatra, the Godfather, has a different hat. Johnny Cash didn't wear hats.
Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with Peter Pavone, he's entertained people here in Vegas for quite a few years. He had a show at the LVH here, and now he's touring, getting ready to tour and go to Japan and all kinds of neat places. So what's the next thing on your agenda?
Well, I'm going to, my next trip is to go to Japan. I'll be there 6 weeks in Osaka. I'll be playing Frank Sinatra in a club. They're giving me my own apartment and my own bicycle.
Oh, very nice.
So I play Sinatra, and I'm like 6'2", and everybody there is like 3 foot tall. So I'll be like the tall guy in Osaka now.
I don't think you can blend in there.
Yeah, but they're beautiful people. I can't wait to see the culture and immerse myself in the raw fish. Be very exciting.
And how many places have you been able to go doing this?
Well, I last year I went to 5 weeks in Australia, Rat Pack tour, and then got brought into the Amalfi Coast of Italy to do a 1-hour show for a group of 30 people, and that was in Italy in July, so that was pretty cool. And I've gone all over the country, been at the Atlantic City and California and Florida. I even played Niagara Falls in a blizzard. Very exciting.
Niagara Falls in a blizzard. That does not sound like it would be exciting to me.
It's a typical summer day in Buffalo,
I guess so. And what would you say would be your favorite show you've done, I guess?
Favorite show? Well,
if there's one that stands out.
I would have to say that show in Amalfi, Italy, was pretty special because it was done in a 12th century Norman tower in the middle of the ocean.
Oh, wow.
And it was a group from Washington, D.C. and Vegas, and it was a very special group. The family was commemorating the 1 year passing of their father, who was the chairman and CEO of MGM Mirage Corporation. And Sinatra was a friend of the family, used to stay at the house, midnight pastas, make eggs for the kids. So to be brought all the way over to Italy to play Sinatra for this family was pretty much of an honor for me.
Oh, I bet. That's amazing.
Oh, yeah. We laughed, we cried, and then after I finished my show, they wanted me to stay, so I loosened my tie. I did Garth Brooks, Neil Diamond, Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, and till like 4 o'clock in the morning, and we just had a ball. It was great. It was great. Yeah, that was cool. So Italy.
And Peter's a good singer, too. So he sang at, where was that? Barrymore's one night.
Oh, yeah, I sat in at Barrymore's, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I came here to play Sinatra of the Rat Pack, and there's no lip syncing, so you have to sing. And when I was 5, my aunt, Millie, who was a showgirl on 42nd Street in the 40s, was dating Harry James when Sinatra went with the band. So when I was 5, she played the music for me and showed me a stack of letters this deep from Frank to her. From the road,
wow.
because they were like pals. If I had those letters today, my Bentley would be sitting outside.
Yes.
But that was my first dose of Sinatra. So I'm having a little bit of a cold this morning, but my voice and singing is probably my biggest strength because, you have to be able to sing like Sinatra. So when I go in to these shows, I give, 100% of what I have. And being a trained theater actor, musical theater actor, I also worked a lot on building his character and the way he looks and the way he emotes and points and, talks. And so a lot of people think that, they're being transported back to that time. See, that was a great time. It was this innocent time. It's my gift to them and to myself to be able to get on stage for an hour and bring them back to a time that was fun and with an attitude. Because when Sinatra came to town, this place lit up. I mean, all they put was "He's here" on the billboard. He was like the guy. So to be able to come here and play him is an honor for me, and to be able to continue that legacy. And the good news is, in the last year, our audiences are getting younger. See, our groupies we used to laugh saying, "Oh, well, they're insured. They're all on Medi-Cal, and you can catch them because they're all, walkers." But, we love our fans, but they're getting younger. And I think what might be starting to happen is the same thing that happened to disco in the 70s, where we had it for 4 or 5 years, and then we got tired of it. Boom, it was gone, and we were on to country music or whatever. I think we're going to see the same thing with these ultra lounges and DJ things going on right now, which are like, nobody understands why they pay $80,000 to a guy to spin records when you got people who spent 30 years singing, dancing, and acting who are making less than a busboy in a restaurant. But I think we're seeing a begin of a shift away from that, because I think those people are going to wake up one day and go, $500 for a bottle of vodka to sit here and drink myself stupid in a loud, noisy room with people who are just exhibiting base behaviors, which I love base behaviors at times. I think they're going to look for something more. So our audiences are getting younger, and we can only hope that we're going to start seeing more demand for live entertainment in Vegas, because, as you know, in the last 10 years, Vegas has shifted away from a lot of lounge entertainment, and that's where Dean Martin and Keely Smith and all those gang used to play. They played in the lounges.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the live stuff was happening, and that's where the scene was happening. So, that's kind of in a nutshell.
Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back in just a minute with Peter Pavone.
It's time to discover the most powerful way to advertise on Celebrity Onset. Celebrity Onset reaches over 1.9 million people. Call us today at 702-280-2469 or visit us at celebrityonset.com.
My name is Friday, Sergeant Joe Friday. For the best gunsmith in Las Vegas, go to CCS Gunsmithing, located at 2216 South Rainbow Boulevard, across from that Harley-Davidson dealership. CCS Gunsmithing seems to be open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. till 5:45 p.m. Call Chris at CCS Gunsmithing at 365-1732. 365-1732.
We are Reliable Auto Sales, a #1 rated seller of top quality pre-owned exotic vehicles, cars, trucks, and SUVs with over 200 in stock. We have the best financing options for any credit situation in the industry. We offer 24-hour online operator assistance, vehicle warranties, payoffs, and we accept trade-ins. See our selection of vehicles at ReliableNV.com or visit us at 1815 East Sahara Avenue. Mention 12:30 a.m. and get an additional $1,230 off your purchase along with other current dealer specials. Reliable Auto Sales, 702-737-6688.
Melinda's Towing Auto Service and Tires delivers complete car care service. Come to us for tires, rims, brakes, cleanup, truck, oil changes, transmission services, and towing. We have 2 locations at 4031 East Lakeland Boulevard, open 8 to 8, and 2530 East Tropicana Avenue, open 24 hours a day. Call us at 702-813-4072.
Family owned and operated since 1964, Transmission Service Center has provided quality and friendly service for almost 50 years. We service and rebuild standard and automatic transmissions, transfer cases, and clutches. Visit our trusted certified professionals at Transmission Service Center at 3088 South Highland Boulevard or call us today at 702-735-9373. That's 735-9373.
The stars are shining bright. Celebrity Onset continue. Here again, your hosts, Devin Ann and Tony Rowley.
Welcome back to Celebrity Onset. I'm your host, Devin Ann, and I'm joined by Tony Rowley. And today on Onset we have Peter Pavone. We've been talking to him about his career and everything. I know we kind of briefly talked about your singing career, and you do also have a CD out, correct?
Yes. Yeah, it's right here. It's called it's called Cool, Hot, and Swinging. It's too early to start drinking, is it?
It's too early.
It's called what?
It's called Cool, Hot, and Swinging.
Ah.
And it's got some standards on here and some originals and some jump swings, some swings, some Latin jazz. And I just couldn't make up my mind.
So a little bit of everything. There
Can you dance to all that?
Oh, yeah. You can dance and you can romance. Yeah.
Very good.
And you can drink.
So what's going to happen with the Rat Pack now? Now that you're not live at the LVH, are you guys going to tour together? What's going to happen with the actual Rat Pack?
Well, there's only one Rat Pack show in Vegas now, so I'm trying to get my own Rat Pack in somewhere, because I think there's room for 2. And mine is kind of like a then and now with fresh material and fresh arrangements. So to a degree, I mean, you can't get too far away from the original, but I think you give the people a little extra, because that's probably the secret to my success as Sinatra. Is a lot of guys get up there and they just try to impersonate Frank. You know, how you doing, baby, and all that. After a while, it's like, dude, you're not Frank, okay? So at a certain point, I just let myself take over and be as close to Frank as I can without being a caricature, or a cartoon character. And so as far as that, the challenge that we have in Vegas is over the last 8 or 10 years, the casinos have got into this thing called 4-wall, which means they give you the theater, they say rent it, pay for the guys, hire your band, pay for your marketing, blah, 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 blah. So it's on the producer now to come up with all the money to do the shows. Well, I sing, dance, act, and do stand-up comedy, but I don't have $250,000 to launch a show, which means I'm sitting on the sidelines either A, waiting for someone to come in and back me, or B, waiting for a hotel to reach into their pocket and start putting the money in. So what you've had now is an evolution to these big producers like David Sachs, who has like 12, 15 shows, and some of the other companies that have like 6 or 8 or 10 shows because they have big money behind them. But aside from them, for an independent guy to get started in Vegas is very difficult today because it takes a lot of money. And the hotels are, for the most part, aren't willing to put up any money. I mean, they've got 82 to 85% occupancy. Why do they have to spend money to put entertainment in? People are just coming. So it's my dream to get gets the word out, so when people come here, they demand to be entertained rather than just thrown into a big room with 1,000 other people and a DJ. And so when you're in Vegas, you have to do impersonations. Like there's some guys who don't sound like other guys, or like John Wayne, right? Like John Wayne?
Yeah.
Well, listen up and listen up good, Pilgrim. Unless you behave yourself, we're going to send you up to Brokeback Mountain. Then you'll come back walking funny just like me. That's John Wayne,
And do you ever lose track of yourself, I guess, because you're impersonating all these different people? Do you ever?
And unfortunately not. A lot of people wish I would. But I play Sinatra, Johnny Cash, Abraham Lincoln, The Godfather. I mean, those are 4 big guys, right? Mm-hmm. So, you got to have a pretty strong something going on inside. And so I came to Vegas at, my age 2 years ago. And I'd already been through the mill. I'd been married twice, family and, business failures and successes. And so, I've been around the block. And I started playing the horn at 12 and singing at 17 and, acting for the camera in 92. And so, I get to Vegas and I get all these people who were in these shows and producing these shows who were just taking shots at me and treating me like, really? I mean, I'm a grown man. I've spent 50 years paying dues, and you're going to talk to me like that? No. And I'm also a 3rd-degree black belt, so, I don't take stuff.
What's with you then, huh?
Well, it's just like, go ahead, shoot your best shot.
Yeah.
We had an old saying in the dojo that if they have a gun, run. But other than that, you're good, Just remember to.
I didn't take lightly to somebody beeping their horn at me the other day at McDonald's out here in the parking lot. So my black belt about came out.
Well, there is.
I about took it off my pants and beat the guy with it.
Well, I've noticed that Vegas drivers are starting to become a little bit like California drivers.
Oh, yes,
a little
they
more
are.
aggressive. And you combine that with all the tourists that we get here on a weekly basis. Half of them drinking, don't know where they're going. I mean, there's hit and runs, and it's just not a really safe place. And pedestrians, people they need to know when you come to Vegas, do not jaywalk, because every week someone's getting run over, and so it's not a safe town. You have to really be careful in this town, and so it's important to breathe and count to 10. I mean, I've gotten a hit and run about 4 months ago, and I had to pay for my own damage on my car because the guy took off. And so, yeah, it's a crazy town. It's a crazy town. It's like a big cruise ship with sidewalks, and everybody's in there partying and drinking, and they flood out into the streets in cars, and you just have to be careful. And so when you obviously live here and you work in the casinos and shows, you realize that people are coming here to do basically one thing, and that's just debauch.
Yeah.
You just go, you do your show, and you leave. And I run back to Summerlin, and I'm like, you shower that off. But, it is what it is. I mean, Vegas is Sin City, and they do what they do well. I think what we need to do here is to diversify the job base, because right now, if you don't work in a casino or something that satisfies the casino's needs, you don't work. So I think we need to have some other industries build up here in order to get stability in this town, so we don't have the worst unemployment in the country and the worst quality of life in America. Vegas has #1. Detroit used to be #1, but now they're coming back. So, we've got a lot of work to do as a city here to provide a quality of life for the people who work here. Because when you work in the casinos, you get a little hardened. Girls who are serving drinks or serving guys coming on to them all the time. I mean, you get about a month into that, and you're like off. You're over humanity,
Yeah, I think Clark County needs to allow the brothels and stuff in the city.
Well,
that helps. We'll start there with diversity.
Well, I mean, they should legalize it because, one, it would protect the tourists and the people who are doing it anyway.
Yeah.
It would protect the workers. I was in Australia on tour, and it's legal in Sydney and the surrounding areas. And I met a woman who was a political activist for what they call the Sex Workers Union. And she said, they're just workers. They go to work. A lot of them love their work, and they make a lot of money, but we protect them. And then I said, is that the Sex Workers Handbook? I'm like, whoa, look at that. I'm like, oh, no, man, you don't want to see any of that, because that's like some sort of medical guide. But, you're right. I mean, nobody wants to talk about it, but it does exist here. And so, that is something that should be cleaned up and regulated.
Yeah.
And because it goes on, it's going to continue to go on. And it's wanted. I mean,
And that's just like marijuana. I'm not for it, but,
it's the biggest cash crop in America. I mean, it tells you something, but if we're going to get political, then that's a whole other show.
No,
after the election,
I'm just talking diversity and...
I don't do politics anymore because I was for this guy, Romney.
On that note, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with Peter Pavone.
It's time to discover the most powerful way to advertise on Celebrity Onset. Celebrity Onset reaches over 1.9 million people. Call us today at 702-280-2469 or visit us at celebrityonset.com.
My name is Friday, Sergeant Joe Friday. For the best gunsmith in Las Vegas, go to CCS Gunsmithing, located at 2216 South Rainbow Boulevard, across from that Harley-Davidson dealership. CCS Gunsmithing seems to be open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. till 5:45 p.m. Call Chris at CCS Gunsmithing at 365-1732. 365-1732.
India Masala Bar and Grill is Vegas' hotspot for North and South Indian cuisine, including chicken 65 and dosas. Lunch buffet served 11:30 to 3 and dinner from 5 to 10. Complement great food with alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages from their new bar. College students, military, firefighters, law enforcement, and EMS personnel with credentials receive 20% off. Seniors 65 plus 10% off. India Masala Bar and Grill, near Maryland and Flamingo at 1040 East Flamingo Road, 702-431-8313.
Why pay more? Go to Melinda's Tire Warehouse. Whether you need tire service for your car, motorhome, or even a semi-truck, come to us. We also specialize in brakes, tune-ups, struts, oil changes, transmission services, and towing. We have 2 locations to serve you at 1530 North Mellis Boulevard and 1800 North Boulder Highway. Both locations are open Monday through Saturday, 8 to 8, and Sunday, 8 to 6. Call 702-813-4072.
Family owned and operated since 1964, Transmission Service Center has provided quality and friendly service for almost 50 years. We service and rebuild standard and automatic transmissions, transfer cases, and clutches. Visit our trusted certified professionals at Transmission Service Center at 3088 South Highland Boulevard or call us today at 702-735-9373. That's 735-9373.
You're walking the red carpet. This is Celebrity Onset. Here again, your hosts, Devin Ann and Tony Rowley.
Welcome back to Celebrity Onset. I'm your host, Devin Ann, and I'm with Tony Rowley. And we are here with Peter Pavone. And so you do stand-up comedy, correct?
Yeah.
And so how did you get started, or what?
Well,
Did you take courses?
Late 90s, I was just singing with a big band. And I figured, well, in between songs, I'm like, well, this next song is by Nelson Riddle, or whatever. And so I said, let me figure out how to be funny. So I was living in San Diego at the time, and I heard about a workshop in Santa Monica. So the guy who taught that also taught Whoopi Goldberg and Robin Williams and Billy Crystal. So I signed up for that, and they were 6-week workshops. And I drove about 11,000 miles back and forth from San Diego to L.A. to study stand-up comedy. And I became funny. I'm a funny guy. If you don't believe it, just ask me. I'll tell you. I got a shovel. I'm just saying.
And how often were those workshops?
They were once a week. It was 3 hours. It was a Tuesday night at 7 to 10, so I would want to beat the rush.
Mm-hmm.
And it was before the toll road, so it was like a 3-hour drive each way. So I used to leave at like 1 in the afternoon, drive to L.A., get to around 4:30, hang out at the promenade, have dinner, go to the 7 o'clock class, leave at 10, be home by like midnight, because driving at 11 o'clock at night was easier than 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So it was, and every 5th week we had a showcase. In fact, I'm beginning to, starting on the 15th of July, teach workshops here. I used to teach them in San Diego at the Hollywood Bound Acting Academy over off of 215. And so it's going to be the same basic format as I learned in Los Angeles to teach stand-up comedians and public speakers and entertainers how to be funny. Now, to try and find 10 people in Vegas who think they need help with anything, I don't know. This is like Narcissist Central. I'm good, I'm fine, I don't need any help, I'm funny.
I think that's going to be a big challenge for you.
Yeah. Well, we already have almost 10 people interested in to start the class. So it's it's all about, my whole life I've always been a part-time performer because I never could make a living at it. So I've had like 6 or 7 singing coaches, 3 or 4 acting coaches, and dance class. I mean, in 2010 I took like 50 tap classes. And I took like 35 private ballroom lessons and a dozen jazz classes. I even took 1 ballet class.
Oh, I'm sure you looked good in those tights.
Well, I didn't put tights on, but
No.
I actually got to school and my jazz class was canceled, and all the good-looking girls were in ballet. So I took the class. It was. I could only get through 1. That was it. But I didn't get any phone numbers either.
Oh no, not even one.
Not even one.
Typical man.
I
Always
remember
what the girls are.
when I was a senior in high school, I joined up for the Marine Corps. And I went to Grand Junction, Colorado. Usually when you're a recruit and you're still in high school, you make these weekend meetings. And you go out and you do runs and all this. One of them was going to an aerobics class. And so all of us young men about to go on the Marines as soon as we graduate were in this room full of women doing aerobics. All of us were dying. The women just tore us up.
Oh, sure. Oh, they're tough, man. They are tough. Yeah. So anyway, the acting, the stand-up comedy, it's good to make people laugh. And I found out that my relationships became better because all of a sudden I was funny and people wanted to talk to me because I cheered them up. And so, I do bits on... People talk about what are you going to learn in the classes. Well, you learn everything from stage technique and mic technique and writing material, setup, punchline, tagging, and you write material based on your life. So in my life, it's like aging, health food, Viagra. I mean, I don't take Viagra because all my friends know I'm incapable of making a 4-hour commitment. That's the best joke I ever wrote. And it's true. And, but I don't understand the 4-hour thing because if you're out with a guy or a girl and you don't like them that much, shouldn't they have Viagra Light? Just saying, just a thought. But, you write...
That's why you have a second date lined up.
That's right.
Just in case.
That's right.
If it's going good, you slip in the bathroom, say, hey, something come up, can I meet you tomorrow night?
Well, I'm Sicilian and Irish. I manufacture Viagra naturally. But, no, it's good. It's good to be an entertainer and to be able to get up on stage and entertain people, because when you put a smile on their face and they're having a good time, that is success. You've achieved your goal of sending them away with a smile. And so whether it's in the Rat Pack or playing Johnny Cash or Lincoln or myself, it's just, I live for that 1 hour. And that's my office. When I get on stage, that's where I've studied for almost 50 years to be and be comfortable. So people say, wow, you look so comfortable up there. I'm like, no, it only took me 20 years to get over stage fright. So as somebody who's been like singing for 2 years, I'm like, you only got 18 to go. Keep it up, kid, but it's fun. And I'm very, very grateful to be able to do that.
I definitely respect that. In today's day and age, we need all the help we can get with as far as helping people smile and making them happy.
Yeah.
When did you start performing? What age?
Well, I started playing the bugle in drum and bugle corps at 12. And so we used to do parades and shows and stadiums and stuff. So I started performing at 12. In fact, the DCI, which is the Drum Corps International, has their annual championship in August. And I think it's like August 8th. It's going to be in all the theaters nationwide, the championship. And if you haven't seen Drum and Bugle Corps, this is like 150 people on a football field playing music and dancing and moving, and it's one of the most amazing things in entertainment to see. And the championship, the best of the best, will be in the theaters. I think it's like August 8th or August 10th. And so they can go to DCI.com and see that. And to see it in the big screen, I just saw the kickoff 2 nights ago. They had it in the theater of the season, because the season runs in the summer. And sitting here, hearing like 75 horns and 35 percussionists on the big screen in that surround sound. I mean, it's just like amazing stuff. So that's my tip for entertainment. DCI in the theaters in August. Check it out.
When was your first time live in front of a crowd?
Well, that's a funny story. I was in my mid-20s, and a buddy of mine's band was playing at a roadhouse. So it was one of these horn bands where it had like 6 or 8 microphones across the front of the stage. So I got up, they called me up, and I was going to do Breaking Up Is Hard to Do by Neil Sedaka, tell me that you leave it. So I got up, and I'm singing, and the microphone went off. I'm like, I'm having a malfunction. So I went to the next one, I got like 2 syllables out, and that went on. I'm like, oh my God, it's a progressive thing. Well, I went all the way down the front, they were all off, so finally I just walked up the stage. My friend who was a pianist didn't have the heart to tell me they turned off the mics on me. I was so bad. So that's when I went out and I got my first voice teacher, like 1975, 74. Her name was Rose Finnegan. Her husband was Bill Finnegan, who was from the Sauter-Finnegan writing duo from the Dorseys. He was the arranger for Sonny Stitt and Jim Hall and all these great jazz greats. And I used to go to their house and take my voice lessons, and that was my first voice teacher back in the 70s. So I figured, I like this, but I better figure out how to do it because it was embarrassing.
Oh, I would have had to quit right then.
Well.
But I guess that's why I'm not an entertainer.
Well.
So have you ever had any hecklers or anyone booing you? Ever?
Not on the singing side. And in stand-up classes, we learned how to deal with hecklers. So there's actually a segment on how to deal with hecklers, how to take it one step further, but not too far, because you don't want to.
You turn it back on them?
You don't want to brutalize them. Yeah. Like one time, I was a heckler once at the Comedy Store in La Jolla, and I was thinking about this thing about belly dancers. So he was calling out for people to have jokes. So I said, what's the difference between a belly dancer and white chocolate? Now, there's like 350 people. It's a Saturday night in the Comedy Store in La Jolla, and the whole place went quiet. You could hear a freaking pin drop, because that's an interesting question, right? I did not have a punchline. So he said, I don't know what. I said, interesting concept. And, oh, man, he went off on me. He said, well, folks, you see, this is what happens when oxygen's cut off in the fetus. I don't want to say he's an ugly guy, but when he was born, doctor took one look at him and slapped his mother. I mean, he's why animals eat their young. He's using a lot of Rodney Dangerfield's jokes. I was like, So yeah, you learn how to deal with hecklers, and so it's all in good fun. And the thing about it is, when you're dealing with audiences, hecklers are just people who want to get in the act. They're extroverts or whatever who feel they want to be on stage, and I've been at that point in my life too. So
or they had one too many drinks.
One too many drinks, really. So applications for Betty Ford are on the way out, sir.
Now, your makeup and for like Abraham Lincoln, how long does that take to do your makeup? I'm going to put a picture up right now of your several looks here of Abraham Lincoln, Frank Sinatra. Looks like Johnny Cash too.
Yeah. Well, Lincoln's the most difficult. It takes an hour to do his hair and makeup. So, and the beard and the sideburns. So it takes an hour. Sinatra's easy. I got blue contacts, put the hair over, a little tan powder. Johnny Cash, the hairline's a little tough for me. The hair is, so I don't do Johnny Cash that much.
And you do the hair and makeup on your own?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's it's an interesting thing. Now the world's most interesting man is going to be challenged, because it's a white mustache and beard, and the white goes up into here, and then it becomes gray, and the hair just goes straight back, kind of curly but short, and it's gray. So that's going to take probably an hour or two.
So how long will that segment be?
Well, it's just that's
a show.
That's a lookalike where you go to parties and you just take pictures with people. Okay. Like last night, I did a show at the Mandalay Bay, and There was 3 Elvises. There was Marilyn, Madonna, Cher, the Rat Pack, Prince, Michael Jackson, and Kid Rock. And Lincoln was a hit, man. People go crazy for Lincoln.
Oh, yeah, Lincoln's cool.
In fact, afterwards, we took a picture with the client, and everybody was walking out. She grabbed me. She said, you know, when we thought about it, we were thinking, Lincoln, what does he fit into Vegas? But she said, man, you were like incredible. I mean, I was out there dancing on the dance floor and doing the moonwalk on stage. And, I mean, you know, you got to just have fun. So, yeah. Lincoln's weird. I mean, being in Vegas doing Lincoln's a little out of place, but you know, there's a need.
There's no impersonator out of place in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And you said you're also going to do Kid Rock?
Yeah, I was with a Kid Rock last night, and I said I could do that.
And you're going for the lookalike, or do you want to do like a show or something with it?
Well, I'm going to start with the lookalike, and then I have to listen to his music and see where his voice is, and you know, I don't know. That's the problem with Johnny Cash. I never did Johnny Cash until I came to Vegas and sat in and did Folsom Prison. The place went off. They're like, dude, you ought to do it. You know, so I learned 5 songs, but you have to know like 18 songs, and they're all like, ding, 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 somebody shoot me, kill me now, you know.
How long do you have to study somebody, I guess, before you get on stage and feel like you're ready to be the impersonator?
Well, I don't know if there's a blanket answer to that, but when I got the casting for Sinatra, I studied every day for 90 days, 2 to 4 hours a day. I had the DVD from the show, I had Frank's YouTubes, I had his background tracks, I had his regular tracks, and I used to put them in succession. Like on my iTunes, I would put Fly Me to the Moon with Frank, Fly Me to the Moon background track. So I would listen to it, sing along with his voice, and then I'd sing it to the karaoke. Then I'd watch him on YouTube doing Fly Me to the Moon. Fly me to the moon, let me, you know, he does these things with his hands and looks and emotes. And so after 90 days, I got on stage with that first Rat Pack, and I was actually telling the Dean, who was the producer, and the Sammy, who'd been with the show for 9 years, where they were supposed to be standing and what notes they were supposed to be hitting and what song came next, because I knew the show better than they did, because they were only doing it once every 2 months, and I just did it every day for 90 days. I mean, I actually had a mirror, and I was doing the karaoke in my bedroom, you know, and the choreography. I mean, I knew the steps and the blocking and everything day one, because that's what you have to do in the theater. You have to be off book and know your lines, and so you can be out of your head.
Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with Peter Pavone.
Is this how you want your message to reach your customers? Or is this how you want your message to reach your customers? Or is this how you want your message to reach your customers? It's time to discover the most powerful way to advertise on television with Celebrity on Set. Celebrity on Set reaches viewers like you in over 1.8 million households over the air, cable, and satellite. Plus, with our exciting website, you can reach more customers than ever before. Your supplied literature will reach hundreds of studio audience members and celebrity guests as well. The show can be viewed on many internet video hosting sites like YouTube, Google Video, and Yahoo Video, and others. The combination of all will send a powerful message to your customers. If you're interested in traditional or long-term advertising, we can assist you in your goal. It's that simple. Call us today or reach us online at celebrityonset.com.
India Masala Bar and Grill is Vegas's hotspot for North and South Indian cuisine, including chicken 65 and dosas. Lunch buffet served 11:30 to 3 and dinner from 5 to 10. Complement great food with alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages from their new bar. College students, military, firefighters, law enforcement, and EMS personnel with credentials receive 20% off. Seniors 65 plus 10% off. India Masala Bar and Grill, near Maryland and Flamingo at 1040 East Flamingo Road, 702-431-8313.
Family owned and operated since 1964, Transmission Service Center has provided quality and friendly service for almost 50 years. We service and rebuild standard and automatic transmissions, transfer cases, and clutches. Visit our trusted certified professionals at Transmission Service Center at 3088 South Highland Boulevard, or call us today at 702-735-9373. That's 735-9373. Mia's Hubcaps and Wheels has new or used original hubcaps and wheels for all makes and models. Call us if you have damaged or scratched wheels in need of repair. We're located at 2550 East Tropicana Avenue, open 7 days a week, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call us today at 702-444-5270. That's 702-444-5270.
Where the stars are shining, this is Celebrity Onset. Here again, your hosts, Devin Ann and Tony Rowley.
Welcome back to Celebrity Onset. I'm your host, Devin Ann, and I am joined with Tony Rowley and Peter Pavone today. So, we talked a little bit about your CD. Tell me a little bit more.
Well, my CD that's available on CD Baby is, and also on iTunes. It's I wrote it over a 4-year period. I produced it over a 4-year period, and there's some lifts here like Sway. It's a Bublé arrangement. I did Old Devil Moon, but I switched that up with Killer Joe intro and tag. And there's some great. They're all musicians. There's no tracks on this deal. And there was a couple of originals there. A buddy of mine, Juan Marones, is a beautiful songwriter, wonderful man. He lives in Mexico now. And he had lots of great original songs. So he said they were all in Spanish. So he comes to me and he says, why don't you sing some in English? So he sent me the translations. Well, Spanish does not translate to English in music. I mean, how do you rhyme hot, sweaty monkey love, you know? So there's two here. One's called I Learned to Wait, which is Sabré Esperar, or When We Will Love Again, which means perfume. Now, in Mexico, perfume meant when a man and a woman make love, it's the perfume of their essence melting together. So I had to really, think about that one. So the lyrics go, lying silently beside you, oh, I couldn't sleep, with the perfume and the passion still swirling around me, your eyes as clear as starlight, lips red as flame, my heart just seems to wonder when we will love again. So I rewrote the lyrics, basically. So this music is by Juan, and the lyrics by me, and I was two. And they're kind of Jobim-flavored Latin love songs. So, yeah, there's 10 songs. In fact, my hard drives with the Pro Tools recordings are floating around Vegas somewhere, along with the artwork, because my storage unit was broken into.
If that's the only thing that's floating around on a hard drive in Vegas, you're doing good.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize I threw you a line there, Tony. But no, really, literally, somebody broke into my storage unit in November and stole my studio recordings and stole the framed artwork that is the cover art. So if you see it, I'm offering a reward, no questions asked, because obviously this is Vegas.
Remind me not to keep my stuff in that storage facility.
I had the wrong lock. If you're listening and you have
the cheap lock,
you
like
don't have
I do.
the round lock, you need to get one, because
Yeah.
obviously after they've cut the one off, it's too late. Yeah, but the CD it was a labor of love, and I'd like to do another one. I have to go to Japan, and I want to do some Sinatra stuff so I can sell them in Japan when I'm there. And so that's pretty much the deal.
So you have this CD. Have you ever done any shows, radio shows, anything like that?
Well, I had a talk show in San Diego for a while. It's called Peter Pavone, Man About Town in San Diego. And it was at AM 1000, but I think after 6 o'clock they turned on the electricity on the transmitter, so I think I was transmitting to like the McDonald's and Walmart and Vista. So, when you're not on, you don't get Arbitron ratings, you can't get advertisers. So we were like number 12 on the list. Advertisers only paid the top
That's where we were stuck.
Mm-hmm.
So we couldn't get the Arbitron ratings.
Yeah. But it was a fun show. I had some good shows. Aaron Russo, who was the director, of The Rose with Bette Midler and Trading Places with Van Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy, did a documentary called America, Freedom to Fascism, which was a documentary about Washington, which is very scary. You can see it on YouTube. But I had him on my show as part of my election night show in 2007, I want to say. And I had A. Whitney Brown from Saturday Night Live, and I had Pete Barbuti, and from here in Vegas, great, fun guy, good friend, and then Aaron Russo, which was like totally anti-government. So we had that on election night, And it had Dennis Waitley, Dr. Dennis Waitley, who wrote The Seeds of Greatness and the Psychology of Winning and all of that, with Yogi Bhumananda from the Self-Realization Fellowship. So that was like my we're going to get spiritual now show. It was a very good show. So I've done a lot of that. I'm totally into self-help and improvement. So we did a talk show with them, and so yeah, we had a lot of good shows, at six or seven shows, and then I realized I was just paying to be on the air. So like, I've had enough. But yeah, I had a great
Again, that's where we were.
Yeah. Yes. At some point you.
And see, I brought Devin on the show because she's totally anti-celebrity, and I thought I'd spice things up. So I'm still waiting for it to spice up, Devin.
She's this is spicy. I think he needs an eye chart, his eye test or something. Glasses, I'm not sure. Working for me, Tony. I don't know about you, pal.
Where in that print there, I didn't know whether she was going to try to eat me today or whether I had to go hunting.
Wait a minute, is this the Onset Celebrity?
Celebrity Onset.
Is this the Sex and Money show? I'm not sure where
I think he's
going.
trying to turn it into Sex and Money show.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But
A little plug for Lynn.
Back to you, though.
Yes.
Catch the Sex and Money show on KLAV, noon to 1 p.m. Noon to 1 p.m. Yeah.
And back to Peter.
Well, Peter started the plug, so I finished it.
True. So you've done a radio show, CD, impersonations. Have you ever done theater? Anything else in that area?
Yeah, in 2008, I did my first musical theater of Pajama Game. And Pajama Game was a movie with John Raitt and Doris Day. Well, great play. And I played Max, the road salesman. And what it was the story of the Pajama Game is where the employees of the pajama factory revolt, and they start only putting a couple of pieces of thread in the buttons. So when people would take a deep breath, the buttons would pop off and the pajamas would fall off. Well, this was a big scandal. So my big scene...
Did everyone laugh at that point?
Oh, yeah, huge.
Because when my pants fall at my ankles, everyone laughs too.
Yeah. So it was a great show. It was Starlight Theater, San Diego, and then I did Moonlight Theater's Barefoot in the Park. Played the telephone repairman, and basically had a ball with that, and a ride down Mount Morgan. And then I got the Sinatra casting and was in Vegas like 6 months later. So yeah, the theater. I love the theater. In fact, I would love to, we're talking about a musical version of Lincoln for Broadway. I'd love to go to Broadway, either do Sinatra or Lincoln or, Phyllis Diller. I'll tell you, for a paycheck, it's not easy. But, the theater people are like family. I mean, you get together with a cast and you rehearse for 3 or 4 weeks, and you do the show for 3 or 4 weeks, and then you just stay friends for the rest of your life. Whereas a lot of these other things, like music, you put together a band, you rehearse, maybe you'll do a gig, maybe you won't do a gig, and all your musicians are not happy until you're on stage, and then you never talk to them. And it's different. And acting in Hollywood, I went to Hollywood in 2007, 2006 to try and break in. Well, you literally have to break in because they got like 20-foot walls and guards around those theaters. Those studios, you have to get a gun and a mask or jump over with like one of those sticks that the Olympics use. Hollywood's tough. So, as an actor, I would drive 3 hours up and 3 hours back for a 15-second, okay, thanks, we'll call you. Maybe, no. And actors in Vegas and Hollywood are serious. I would go for like a non-speaking repairman role, and there'd be guys sitting there in like repairman outfits with hats and their name and the company and toolboxes, and I'm like, dude, really? This is an audition. This isn't the frickin' filming today. Like, is this what the competition's like in LA? So, you know, I couldn't even find a job as a waiter at night so that I could go out and look at jobs for acting in the daytime. And I had spent 35 years in food and beverage. That's how tough LA was on me. So I was here like 9 months. I'm like, forget about it. I'm out of here.
We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with Peter Pavone.
My name is Friday, Sergeant Joe Friday. For the best gunsmith in Las Vegas, go to CCS Gunsmithing, located at 2216 South Rainbow Boulevard, across from that Harley-Davidson dealership. CCS Gunsmithing seems to be open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. till 5:45 p.m. Call Chris at CCS Gunsmithing at 365-1732. 365-1732.
India Masala Bar and Grill is Vegas's hotspot for North and South Indian cuisine, including chicken 65 and dosas. Lunch buffet served 11:30 to 3 and dinner from 5 to 10. Complement great food with alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages from their new bar. College students, military, firefighters, law enforcement, and EMS personnel with credentials receive 20% off. Seniors 65 plus, 10% off. India Masala Bar and Grill, near Maryland and Flamingo at 1040 East Flamingo Road, 702-431-8313.
We are Reliable Auto Sales, a #1 rated seller of top quality pre-owned exotic vehicles, cars, trucks, and SUVs with over 200 in stock. We have the best financing options for any credit situation in the industry. We offer 24-hour online operator assistance, vehicle warranties, payoffs, and we accept trade-ins. See our selection of vehicles at ReliableNV.com or visit us at 1815 East Sahara Avenue. Mention 12:30 a.m. and get an additional $1,230 off your purchase along with other current dealer specials. Reliable Auto Sales, 702-737-6688.
Family owned and operated since 1964, Transmission Service Center has provided quality and friendly service for almost 50 years. We service and rebuild standard and automatic transmissions, transfer cases, and clutches. Visit our trusted certified professionals at Transmission Service Center at 3088 South Highland Avenue or call us today at 702-735-9373. That's 735-9373.
The stars are shining bright. Celebrity Onset continue. Here again, your hosts, Devin Ann and Tony Rowley.
Welcome back to Celebrity Onset. I am your host, Devin Ann, and I am joined by Tony Rowley. Be sure to join us on Vegas TV, 5 to 6 a.m. every weekday, and also follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and also on CelebrityOnset.com. And we are here with Peter Pavone. We talked a little bit earlier, I guess, about sex shops. Or sex, not sex shops.
Did we really?
That was on the break, Devin.
Australia.
I'm going to tell Tony, I love your outfit today, Tony. Didn't they tell you?
Next we'll talk about headshot.
Didn't they tell you this was television? I'm just saying.
Not sex shops.
We were talking about Australia.
Let's go back to Australia. Yeah. Because
but I like the way you think.
I'm not editing that out. That's staying in for TV.
Oh, I'm working with all men, so I'm just... All right, so back to Australia we go.
Australia, yes, down under.
Watch out, we lock the doors.
I did 5 weeks in Australia, and I got to know the people there really well. And we were playing the sports leagues, clubs, and the return service leagues, which are like American Legion clubs here, but they have casinos, so they have their own casinos. So great people. And I have Facebook account. I have several Facebook pages, but on my Peter Pavone Facebook, I have some videos that I shot as a tourist in Australia. Or you can go to YouTube and put in Peter Pavone Australia. And there's one where I'm coming down the river. They have a great network of boats and trains and buses. You can get anywhere 24 hours a day. So coming down the river, and I'm panoraming the river and the homes and the buildings and coming into downtown, and there's the Bay Bridge, And we come under the Bay Bridge, and bam, there's the Opera House. You know, I was narrating. And it was only like a minute and a half, but so many people watching. They're like, dude, thanks, because it brought them right into Australia, you know. And I met some great people down there, and there's a guy named Larry Steller, who's like the Frank Sinatra of Australia. And he's 80, he just turned 84 like yesterday. We're still good friends. We went for tea to a friend's penthouse there on Sydney Harbor at 2 o'clock in the afternoon for tea, 2 hours. Midnight, we were still there. We had eaten everything in the house, and we were just singing. There was only like 6 of us, 6 or 8 of us, but we were singing and talking, and it was like a 12-hour tea. The British would be livid. But, Australia was so nice, and the people were so nice, and the audiences were great. I mean, like, they drinking and beer, and so, Australia was very cool. I'd go back again.
I haven't been there yet, but I made a friend here recently that lives there, so maybe I'll have to see if I can scam a trip down there.
Yeah, you're just interested in the sex shops over there. Apparently that they have.
Minus the shops.
Did you say this is on in the morning, this show? Children, cover your ears.
We're good because the FCC, it's during that right period of time, 1 a.m. to 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's right. In Vegas, that's like dinner time.
Yeah.
But I've got a lot of places people can go to find me because I am like a egomaniacal narcissist. Just a little of both. You need a little of both to be successful in Vegas. So you can go to peterpavone.net or ratpacklv.com. Or on Facebook, I have a lot of pages, one for each of the Rat Pack, Live, Sinatra, Johnny Cash, Sons of Sun Records, which is Johnny, Elvis, and Jerry Lee Lewis. Abraham Lincoln, my stand-up comedy workshops. They start on July 15th. I'm also going to be at Casablanca Resort in Mesquite, and I believe that is July the 16th at 2 o'clock. And then August, I'm going to be at Sam's Town on the 22nd at 2 o'clock, and at Suncoast on the 15th. At 2 o'clock, Suncoast in the showroom there. So those are my public appearances, and then I'm available for hire, for private appearances, to do any of my characters, or even a new one. I'll do Phyllis Diller if you're paying.
Well, I want to remind everyone to join us at CelebrityOnset.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. I want to thank Peter Pavone for being on the show today. And watch us weekdays, 5 a.m. to 6 on Vegas TV. And we'll see you tomorrow. Same place, same time.